Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. We're going to be testing out a Cerberus in T6 Abyss post the Cerberus's buffs. So the Cerberus a few months ago received a buff increasing its shield boosting capabilities, and previously the Cerberus was able to do T6 Abyss pretty well, but the problem is that in some certain waves, such as the Cinnabal waves, this ship could have a hard time because it's got very low EM resists. And the Cinnabals do a ton of EM damage. So in those waves, you could have the potential of dying there if you're unlucky or make some small mistakes. But I feel like now we might have a lot easier time in general in the T6 Abyss, because now we've got a shield boost bonus. So our shield boosters are going to be inherently a lot stronger than they were before. So we're going to warp to the Abyssal launch site and go and get ready to enter the Abyss. We'll start off actually. We could consider to use the Rage missiles, but I think we'll use the Caldari Navy missiles because it will be a bit better against those small targets, and usually you encounter them more often than the bigger targets in the Abyss. So we're here in the middle of nowhere. We need to be in the middle of nowhere to be able to enter the Abyss. And this fit was originally made by Gustav Mannfred. He has proposed the Cerberus for doing the Abyss in T6 Abyss to a really big degree. So I'm really impressed with how he put together this fit using high-grade Hydras. These Hydra implants, what they do is they make your missiles faster and increase the application of them so they can apply to the small targets even better. So I've used this fit before. It has had troubles with the Cinnabal wave, but I think that we will have a lot better time now. So we're going to start with the exotic sites. So I actually made a mistake here. So we have to be in the we have to be in 0.5 systems to be able to use this T6 filament. It used to be the case that you could do them anywhere, but now you can't anymore. So we're going to move ourselves to Thera. Since we're on the test server, you can go anywhere you want. So we can do it in the mirror. It doesn't really matter actually where you are. Okay, let's activate the filament. Now we can activate it. Jump into the abyssal dead space. So we've got our Hornets here. They're Caldari Navies and not Tech 2s. Caldari Navies are a bit more robust. And since this ship has pretty bad inherent, doesn't have any drone bonuses, it's good to have a bit more beefier drones that you don't lose all the time. So here we've got Ghosters. These guys are really annoying. We want to take them out. They're going to be making our application so much worse. We'll deploy drones to help a little bit and hope that we can get the application to outdo their tracking disruptors, which they're doing to us, which make our missiles hit a lot worse. Seems like we're making good progress on this guy here, so good. And then we'll do the second one. Each one of these destroyed makes our missiles hit better because we've got 4 of them. Now we've only got 2 of them left, making our missiles apply worse. It's just going to be easier and easier. So usually in the beginning of these ghosting Damavik waves, that is when you have the most difficult time applying to them. But the Cerberus seems to have pretty good application here, especially with the fit that we've got. We've got the triple ballistic control systems, Rigor, and dual Rigor rigs. And then we've also got the high-grade Hydras. The Hydras make you apply so well. The exotic sites that we're doing here are also very optimal for the Cerberus. We could do a test in the future where we're doing a different type of weather effect. Since this is T6 exotic, it's, you could say, the best case scenario for the Cerberus, because the Cerberus has the bonuses to just kinetic missiles, not any other types of missiles. So in the exotic site, we also have reduced kinetic resistance, so we're naturally going to be doing a lot more damage. I noticed our capacitor is really bad, and that's because I forgot to turn off this MWD. That thing drains capacitor like crazy. So we just use the booster. You can see our shields are going up. We do not want them to go down because we are a shield tank. As soon as the shield goes down, armor will just wipe out immediately. Okay, so I want to take out the Vedmax here. Vedmax have really big remote armor repair, so they're going to be helping their friends so much to get good amounts of armor HP. So if we start attacking a Damavik, we're going to have 2 Vedmax healing him. It's better to go for each big one initially. I just went for those ghosting Damaviks before because I was thinking that they're going to make application just a big hell otherwise. Okay, so we can chill on the booster because we seem to have a pretty stable shield. Our capacitor is not completely stable, with the MWD on, but with off, we do have a stable capacitor. But the capacitor is a downside of this ship. It could be a bit better. We might alter the fit slightly in the future to have a bit better capacitor, but we'll see. So far, it seems to be pretty stable, but I can imagine if we were to have a high neut wave, our capacitor might run out. But so far, we're doing this super fast. We have max 20 minutes. We did this first room in pretty much 3.5 minutes. So we're doing this in our record speed, and that's pretty typical of the T6 exotics, because they're just usually done fast. The downside of doing the exotics is that they are pretty good to do. Gilas and Cerberuses do these pretty effectively, so because of that, the market makes it so that people naturally have a high demand for this filament, so the prices go up. So these are pretty expensive filaments to do. So every run, I would theoretically have to just pay 25 million ISK. You would obviously get a lot of profit, but it's reducing your long-term profit. So it will be more optimal to maybe make a fit that is focused around doing Firestorm or Dark Sites that have a bit cheaper filaments. We will turn out with a bit more profit, but they're also going to be more difficult to run. Okay, what have we got next here? Abyssal Overmind. This one's pretty easy, so we'll just go straight in, charge straight in, take out as many frigates as possible on the way here. We will definitely want to use Rage when we're getting close, because Rage is going to be perfect for this guy. Can start launching missiles. We'll also deploy a bit of drones. Okay, go for these plate forges. They're going to remote repair that Abyssal Overmind. We'll orbit at short distance. We don't need to have that MWD on anymore. Okay, now we want to go with Rage. We can have the drones go for the plate forges, perhaps. How many do we have? Okay, I don't think that was actually a good idea that I swapped the ammunition type, because we've got still quite a few frigates left. Let's go for the Overmind. He's the main guy. Seems like our tiny little drones can take out the frigates. Seems like it's working out pretty well here. We do have quite a bit of DPS. We have 1000 plus DPS. That's really high for a cruiser. Usually you don't have that kind of DPS in a cruiser. Maybe 700, 800 max. So we'll just orbit it. And since we're orbiting, it's going to be this guy is going to have a difficult time attacking us, since we're going to be sort of going in a bit of an angle. He won't be able to hit us, so you can see that he's missing here. Our missiles keep going on him, while I have the drones take out everything in the meantime. I don't know if it's a good idea that I'm leaving these fogcasters here, because they have got tracking disruptors. Tracking disruptors do make my missiles apply worse, so we'll see here if we're making full application, like all the missiles are hitting. The way we can do that is look at how much damage we get per volley. 2.2 thousand HP kinetic damage. And we do, let's see, 1,200. Okay, let's see what his resist is then. 68% resist. So that means we're doing all the damage, because we're going to get, only do 42% of the damage. So it seems about right. Otherwise, if there's too many of these guys, it could happen that a lot of the explosion is just missing. Let's go for these guys here. So one more room left after this one. There's 3 rooms in total, and we're really fast here. Approaching 7 minutes. And the Overmind rooms usually have a tendency to be the more longer rooms, because this guy has so much HP, but the Cerberus doesn't care, because it just goes straight through with 1k DPS. So here we want to go for the Caldari Navy, because that's going to knock out these little frigates really fast. Maybe I didn't even need to switch. It probably does so much damage that the massive explosion velocity or radius won't make a difference in attacking these guys. Just orbit this close. And this seems to be a good way to speedrun the T6 exotics, actually. With the Cerberus, I just worry about the heavy EM waves, but I think that if we can somehow buff the capacitor of this ship, it should be alright, because the tank feels very strong. Very, very strong. We get big boosts for each cycle we've got here. Okay. The missiles do hit alright. I mean, they can hit better, but it's alright. It's not too bad. You can see our drones do a fraction of the damage that our missiles do. Look here. The drones do 50 damage while the missiles do 700 damage, and we're doing very like the same speed of taking out those frigates. Is because those frigates are so nimble. Our drones are able to apply really well. And the Caldari Navy obviously does less damage than the Rage, but it's just because we want to be able to apply properly. Okay, another Triglavian wave, and this is also a heavy newt wave, so this could be good to encounter. And you know what we can do to just test to see if this is more like a worst case scenario is we can be in this orange cloud over here. Orange cloud makes it so that shield boosters require extra capacitor. So that's good. We're going to have this like as a worst case scenario. We'll deploy drones and go for the starboards because these are the guys we want to focus first. The starboards drain all our capacitor. The good thing is that we're using missiles. They actually don't use any capacitor, but our tank is essential when it comes to capacitor. No cap means no tank. Now we destroy them so fast. Oof. We'll take out all the Vedmax. They are really the main amount of damage here. If we take them out and don't take any damage, we won't have to use our shield booster, meaning we will not have to worry about capacitor. Okay. I'm not used to seeing the Vedmax fall this fast. They're falling so fast. I usually do T6 Gammas and Agila. Agila is a little bit less damage than this ship, but a lot tankier, so it's a lot safer to do. And the Gammas are more profitable because the filaments cost less than the exotics, but they also are slower because the Agila doesn't do explosive damage, which is the damage type reduced in the Gamma sites. In the exotics, we have kinetic resistance reduced, and that is actually also a damage type that the Gila is good at, the same way the Cerberus is very good at doing kinetic damage. The good thing is that I don't have to pay the premium of using the exotic filaments, but I'm just not used to seeing these guys fall so fast. It feels really great, actually. We'll probably want to go for those tanglers. They're going to be a bit annoying, just keeping us slow, but they don't seem like they want to go for us. We don't have any tangling effects here. They might be going for our drones, because you can see our drones are taking a bit of damage. We can just slowly approach the origin conduit. Don't have to worry about anything. We don't have to worry about taking too slow of time, because we've still got enemies left. We could obviously take this bioadaptive cache, but since we're on the test server, we don't really care about loot, since we anyway have unlimited money here. Okay. And Rage is applying actually pretty good to these little frigates. Very happy. Ooh, that's 900 volley. That's actually really good for using Rage against frigates. Okay, we are soon running out of capacitor, so we probably want to turn that off. Orbit 500 here. Look at that speed. 11 minutes, that's really fast for T6. Usually a typical T6 run will be maybe 15 minutes would be usually a good time. And maybe usual for me would be 17, 18 minutes. Here we're doing like 11 minutes. And we've got pretty long waves as well. Like sometimes you can get these really fast waves that take a very short amount of time to do. But here we got some pretty meaty waves, and we're still just able to chug straight through because the Cerberus is so powerful. But the main difference to this ship is that it has more tank, but it is a very DPS oriented ship in general. It has very high damage potential. As I said before, 1k DPS is not too common to see on a cruiser. There we go. We've done this T6 Abyss site really smoothly. If I'm going to compare to the old way the Cerberus worked, it definitely felt more comfortable in terms of the tank. Like, I just have to pulse my shield booster very, very lightly, and it's just max shields. It's not at all like before, where the shield boosting was very minimal. I think that we definitely see it, even though the capacitor is the same, we use the same amount of capacitor before, because this is the same shield booster. We have, like, you could say, we're more efficient, because per capacitor charge we're getting more shield boosting. So it definitely feels more comfortable, but we get to explore waves where we encounter really heavy neuting. We did try it out against those starving Vedmax, and it seemed to be no problem as long as we just intelligently just pulse our shield booster. So I'm very happy about this. We could definitely have to do more tests later, but I think it's enough for now. Hope you guys enjoyed Cerberus in the T6 Abyss. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.